Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Pete. Pete is from Philadelphia in Pennsylvania in the USA. So let's see what Pete has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Pete, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for taking the time for the interview today. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. I've seen a few of them, and they've been fun to watch.
For some reason, I've heard a lot about you. I don't know why, but I heard a lot about you.
I don't know why either.
So how's your day been so far?
So far, so good. It's only noon here, so had some coffee, riled myself awake. Lazy Sunday morning, so.
How is Deb? Is okay?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's downstairs watching the Queen's funeral procession, so.
Oh yes, being everywhere now. Watch, my goodness, what a day or a week. You know that since we find out about her death, I think it's she literally left her legacy. You know, she left her signature. Never gonna be another one like her, I think.
Oh no, that was a very long reign, so she really had an effect on people, so yeah.
Absolutely. And being here in England as well, being London, it's just like you can feel it. You can just being here, it's in a way it's a privilege as well, or it's this history happening now, and we are here in London, so it's being a foreign person here in London just feel amazing.
Yeah, I believe it.
So Pete, so tell me where you're from.
So I was born and raised in the Philadelphia suburbs. Ended up moving to the Boston area for college and ended up living there about 10 years. Okay. And came back here about 24 years ago now. So I've been living back in Philly ever since then. So.
And what's the best part of living in Philly? I love when my guests from Philadelphia, they go Philly. I love it.
Really? I'll say, the reason why I came back, I think, besides my family being here, is Philly has a really, between the time I left in 88 and came back in 98, Philly had a real big revitalization. And once I was back, the Center City area was thriving with restaurants and the arts and all that stuff. And that's the stuff I love. And even though Philly is kind of a grittier town compared to, DC or New York City, I think I definitely would rather live here than one of those two places. So.
I see. And what do you do for a living, Pete?
So I work for one of the big banks in the world, doing product management. I deal with the features, in particular, credit cards, and try to make them better for everybody. So.
See, and what do you like the most about your job? What's the best part of it?
My favorite part of the job, and it's kind of interesting because I haven't been able to really dig my hands into this in a while, is getting to know the customers and really digging in and finding out what it is that would make them like something better. So whatever product it is I'm working on, really getting out there and figuring that stuff out instead of just trying to guess. That's kind of just spinning your wheels at that point. And I actually just found out the other day that I got a promotion to a position that'll let me do that a lot more. So I'm really excited what the coming year has in store. So
amazing, very good.
Yeah.
Pete, before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting. Gosh, I don't know. I enjoy singing, whether I'm good at it or not. That's for other people to judge, but I really do enjoy singing. I don't know if that's interesting. I went to college for physics and ended up leaving with a bachelor's in communication arts as a theater major. So that was quite the difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. I found that while I have this really analytical mind that lends itself to science, I really preferred the performance side of things when it comes to actually living life. And never really got to pursue that as much as I would have liked, but that's probably I guess, the most interesting thing about me.
Very interesting for sure. My goodness, it's funny how you're dragged into a different area and suddenly find your path, your passion somewhere else. I think that's what is interesting about those life events.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of cool. Well, and the cool thing about it is that, while I say I didn't go on to become, an actor or anything like that, I did, like, the skills I learned really lent themselves to the business positions that I ended up getting after college, and they just grew and kind of helped shape, where I am today. I think one of the most interesting things about life is being able to kind of figure out where you are, where your skills are, and let life happen and adapt to it and really learn as you go. And it'll really take you to some really interesting places, I think.
Absolutely. And I believe that in the end of the day, everything counts. I think everything that you go through, everything that you learn, everything that you maybe go in a different direction, it's part of it. And that's what makes interesting, isn't it? I think that you need to be open, you need to be approachable and open for those events, because
Absolutely.
it's going to take you in a place where you're going to find your happiness, going to find yourself. And that's what is fascinating.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I mean, yeah.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah, oh, definitely ready. Yeah.
Amazing. Welcome to the
Sorry about that.
box. No, it's okay. Sometimes I tell that people, they go like, what you're saying? Sorry, can you repeat again? My accent can be over the place sometimes.
Oh, me too.
I'm just going to play a song now just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Pete, before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay?
Sure. Appreciate it.
First question for you is, what's something you always wanted to do, but you're scared of?
Probably jumping into the arts, honestly. If I had my druthers today, I would still go into theater, either as an actor or a director. But because I'm so secure today in my position at my job, that keeps me from doing it. But also just the fear of rejection. Like I as much as I enjoy performing, I also don't necessarily think I'm any good. So, there's that fear of rejection if I were to jump into that too. So I feel like, so to your point, like what else would I do that I'm afraid of? That's definitely something I would be afraid of as much as I'd want to do it.
And when this feeling of like not being accepted, or you feel like it's not good enough, what do you do to kind of go over it, to put that on the side? There is a mechanism that you use it, there's something that you put yourself, you know what I mean? Like encourage yourself to see that it's just this evil inside?
I don't know if I have ever really developed that, to be honest. I allow myself, I'll take the chances. Like I sing with the Philadelphia Gay Men's Chorus, and so there are opportunities there to do solos and such. And if I don't get the chance to do that, I will actually get the nerve up to audition for those solos. But if I don't get anything, I'm happy to just kind of sit back and be part of the chorus and entertain an audience of people, and silently judge the people who did get the solos.
And how often do you practice or do you perform?
So we're off during the summers, and so we're just getting back into our next season. So we rehearse on Wednesday nights. We have 3 concerts, one during the holidays right after our Thanksgiving holiday, one in March, which is usually like a concert that has to do with community, or is a meaningful piece going toward our mission of inclusion and all that. And then finally, we'll end in May with a fun, a fun boppy kind of concert. This year, we're doing, I guess, a sing-along concert with all Elton John music.
Oh,
So
wow.
that should be, it should be pretty fun. I'm really excited about that one.
And how many, sorry, carry on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so, we do that Wednesday nights. I also started dancing for them, which has been kind of fun. So that rehearses Tuesday night. So I'm kind of now dedicating myself 2 nights a week to this thing. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to socialize and meet people. It was one of the first things I did when I came out, because I figured this is something I like doing, and there's 100 other guys where I can make some friends and finally become part of the community in a much easier way than trying to go to the bars and meet friends and all that stuff. So
absolutely. And there's how many people are involved in the group, more or less?
No, that's a good question. So it goes up and down, really kind of depending on how our membership committee really reaches out to folks. I think this year, maybe because COVID is finally done, for lack of a better word, we had a lot of people come back who hadn't been in it. And we also had like 33 new members join. So we're over 100 voices now, which is really cool.
Amazing. And anyone can participate, or anyone can apply for it? How does it work?
There's an audition process. You don't have to really prepare anything. But new members would typically just come in and with the director work through their vocal range, see if they can match pitch, try to sing a really simple song that most people know. And if you can hold a tune, people get in. And we accept, even though because it's a legacy course, we've been around for 41 years. They're still sticking with the name Philadelphia Gay Men's Course, but we accept anybody. We still have the traditional 4-part male voice music that we do, but anybody who is willing and able to sing in that range is more than welcome, for sure.
Very good one.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's do it.
Are you saying I'm a super freak?
I was about to say, as now you started your dance class every Tuesday, it's a good opportunity for you to show your moves now during the show.
Yeah, I need to be taught moves. I'm not a natural at giving the moves.
Next question for you is, where do you want to be in 10 years' time from now?
Oh, where would I want to be? I would love to be retired in Portugal.
Oh, yeah. So tell me, what's your connection with the country?
Absolutely nothing. Other than it's a beautiful country, and I hadn't even considered something like that until recently. We've been talking to other people who've mentioned it, and we've looked into it. And nothing against the U.S., but it's been a little hit or miss lately. So I think with how affordable Portugal is and how beautiful Portugal is and the weather and everything about it, we've been thinking about doing something like that. So ideally that would be fantastic if it could work out. Otherwise, in reality, I'll probably be still working, planning for retirement for sure, but just trying to enjoy life and keep taking trips, make Devin keep flying so we can keep those flight benefits. He'll fly till he dies as far as I'm concerned.
It's I don't know if Devin told you, but I lived in Portugal for a few years before moving to the UK. Yeah, I did. And it's just an amazing, beautiful country, quite small, but at the same time, it's so rich, the culture, the food, people, it's so welcoming. And it's interesting because when I arrived there 20 years ago, like 2002, when I arrived there, it's a totally different country right now. I think Portugal now is in the world. Everyone talks about Portugal everywhere. And it's so fascinating because I was living in Porto. It's like 300 kilometers from Lisbon. And,
that's a wonderful place. Yeah,
it's beautiful there. And actually, when I was living there 20 years ago, the only tourist that you could see there was Spanish because
Really?
it was close there, like some cities close to Porto. But now, when you go there, you find people all over the world. Like I see so many people from America, people from Australia, like posting on social media pictures in Porto. I feel so proud. I feel so happy when I see that, because at the time when I was living there, there was no tourism, like tourists there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays, with those like low cost flights as well, like around Europe, everyone goes to Porto, and it's a beautiful country. It's a good place for sure to retire. It's a good place. The weather is always good, and it's a good place for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, no, you described it to a T, everything I've heard about it. So
Absolutely. Next one, let's do it. Pete, before the next question, tell me, how is being gay in Philadelphia? And the community there, it's approachable, it's easy to be gay. And saying that, tell me a little bit about your journey as a gay guy. How is being gay for you?
well, that is a long, convoluted answer, I think. So to start, I think the Philadelphia gay community is pretty amazing. Again, with the city, so I've been to New York, I've been to DC. Their community is quite widespread, and clearly there's a niche for everybody. But I feel like it's a lot less approachable. In Philly, you have your pockets of that sort of thing. But we have our gayborhood, which is kind of all our local gay bars within like 3 city blocks of each other. So it's really easy to kind of bop around and meet people. But yeah, I feel like the people in the community are mostly friendly, and we have a lot of things that people can do to get involved, both from helping the community to just socializing in the community. Again, we were talking about, other than trying to meet people at bars, we have the whole Stonewall Sports League that's in a couple of cities now. So if you're at all sporty, or just want to kind of stay active, you can join any one of their sports that they do throughout the year. We have 3 different courses that are LGBT specific, and we have a community center where you can get involved, and all that fun stuff. It's a great. I like our community, and I feel like the city specifically recognizes it and does a pretty good job protecting and keeping us vital. There are parts of the city that are still weirdly conservative. I think just because they're older communities and such, and they're still kind of stuck in their ways. But as a whole, I think Philly is a great place to be gay, actually. Yeah. As for the journey, that's a whole different thing. So when I mentioned I had come out, I had only come out back in 2009. And I was 39 years old. And so I'd lived a big portion of my life in the closet. And that was all kind of related to being raised evangelical. And the whole idea that you couldn't be gay, and God would heal you, and all that kind of brainwashing that goes on. So I lived a long part of my life. And I got married too. I was married for almost 20 years. And it was mentally a comfortable life. I was fine, but mentally it really wears on you. And so when I finally got to the point where it just was something I couldn't deal with anymore, I had to open up with my ex-wife, and she's been fantastic about it. I mean, she was clearly hurt, devastated at the end of her marriage, but she's been nothing but supporting, and we're still good friends to this day, which is fantastic. So I really appreciate her support. My parents' support has been great as well. So yeah, I feel very lucky in that the things that I feared the most haven't happened. Complete rejection from the family and all that. But yeah, now that I'm out and authentic, it's been a great life.
Amazing. I think that I think all of us we have before coming out, you always had a story behind, and there's always people with different stories. And at the end of the day, everything as well is part of it and build the person we are right now. So you always
absolutely.
Yeah, it's meant to be this way, isn't it?
Right. Yep. No, absolutely.
Next question is, good question. Which talent do you wish you had?
A talent? Oh gosh. Is confidence a talent?
Tell me about it.
So I feel like confidence, I think most people would say I don't lack confidence just because of the way I present. But this goes back to the whole acting thing, the performer thing, and just in general, to quote RuPaul and all that, the whole inner saboteur thing is real, and it's really hard to shake. So I fake it until I make it, and just kind of I would love to just be confident like that and just be able to say, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can't do this, and just be able to do that. I know it's kind of a wishy-washy answer, but
No, it's just your genuine answer.
Yeah.
And do you think that like the time's passing, you're getting more confident about it?
Sure. I think it's more that I've learned to live with it more than anything. But yeah, I'll often find myself not wanting to do something because of it. Like, for example, this interview. Devin and I were talking about it, and I found myself. I think my lack of confidence makes me think I'm not interesting, and so like I was like, what am I going to talk about? I'm not interesting for an interview, but again, just kind of overcome it by doing it, and that'll help get not more confidence, but just past the that inner saboteur.
It's interesting you saying that, Pete, because again, the first point is you come across a confident person. Actually, as soon as we connected, I was like, oh wow, you know what I mean? You start talking natural, like, you know what I mean? Very, it's interesting. You have this image of a confident person. That's I must say, and it's interesting saying that about confidence, because in all of us we have that. Sometimes Absolutely. When we think that's just us, but trust me, everyone, all of us, we have that. We have this, moments when we feel, oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't look this, or I don't have that. Everything is here. And the other interesting thing that you made me realize now, actually, when I invite people online on social media, I would say 0.5% of the people, they say they reply back to me. Why do you interview me? I'm not interested.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's so you see, you just made me realize that. And actually, you see that is something about us, that we have that. And at the end of the day, everyone has that. Some of them, they hide better. Some of them, they come over, like they go over it easier or faster. But at the end of the day, we are all in the same boat. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it when the people, they answer this way for me. They go like, oh, but I'm not interested in Paris. And I love that, because I take it as a challenge, because I go like, okay, so let's make it happen. And it's so interesting, because when I send the information, like the same way I send the information to you about the show, how it works, and sometimes they send me back message saying, William, I'm so happy that I've done it, because it's something that can be scary, because you are answering questions on the spot, you don't know what's gonna come along, but in the end of the day, we are all in the same boat as well. And after we go through that, you go like, oh, I've done it, I did it. And it's interesting. You just made me realize that now, because a lot of people, they reply back saying that I'm not interested in person, and I go like, okay, let me tell you that you are. Let me show you that.
I'll say this though, I mean, I love talking to people. I usually, when I talk to people, I'm very much like you, not that I'm interviewing, but in conversation, I really like to learn about people, and so so the talking part I'm okay with. I'm not.
it makes so sense because when people like, believe it or not, I'm a very shy person, but people, they misunderstand that because I'm like you. If I go to a place, if someone starts talking to me, that's it. I'm there. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to connect with people. That's what I'm doing here. But to get that point, trust me, it's, you know what I mean? It's a kind of journey that, of course, the older you get, you kind of know how to manage that well. But
at 52, that's very much a thing that I've learned.
Absolutely. And people think just because we are easy talking, easy communicating, like they kind of think, oh, you're very confident, or you're not shy at all. But it's the opposite. It sometimes it's a way of us to try to, you know what I mean, to go over it, or to improve that feeling that is holding us back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Ready for another one?
Sure.
Let's do it. Next question for you is, right, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friend?
Oh, good question. I have a few people I consider my best friend. I'll focus in on one. Well, to this point that we've been talking about, I feel like he is one of those people that has an absurd amount of confidence. And I think that that attracts me to that friendship a lot.
I see. And saying that, what's the biggest similarity?
That we're both crazy and love to have fun. We are constantly up to hijinks and or even like Friday night, we were over at his place just with the intention to watch something, but just got into kikiing all night long and drinking and just having a blast. So, and we didn't even have to go out. It's just a matter of hanging out and just having a good time. So,
yeah, being around best friends, it's a safe place to be, isn't it? Just be yourself. It's a safe place. Yeah. You be your truly self. You don't care about anything. Whatever you are dressed, whatever you are feeling, whatever you say, it's still safe because you are with your best friend. So you can always be yourself 100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Next question, Pete. Let's do it. Hey, Pete, from Philadelphia or from Philly?
Philly.
Next question is, what is your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
One show in particular. I watch so many. I'll say it's a genre. I am a real sucker, no matter how cheesy the show is, for shows that have magic in them for some reason. There have been enough, and literally when it's like young people, I think, like college aged and I can't remember any of the names of them. That's how trashy they are. But it's almost like these young adult dramas or shows around magic or something like that. They're kind of my guilty pleasure.
I see. And do you watch which kind of movies that you like the most to watch?
That is a wide range. I'll sit down and watch probably anything, but again, things that are fantasy related, sci-fi related. I'm not a big fan of comedies generally. I'll watch them, but that's not the first thing I'll gravitate toward. Typically dramas, I really, really like when it's a good drama. I don't know if you saw Power of the Dog from last year.
No, I haven't. Is it a movie or is it a series?
It was a movie. It was nominated for Best Picture at our Academy Awards. But it was a slow burn of a movie, but it was such a great payoff at the end that it was fantastic. So even those kind of movies really, really interest me as well. Things that really have some sort of interesting aspect to it. A great ending like that, I guess. Yeah.
What's the name of the movie again?
I believe it's Power of the Dog.
The Power of the Dog is interesting because most of those, the winners of Best Picture, I always tend to watch it, but I think maybe this one was during the COVID situation because I kind of was in the cinemas, was in the theater. That's why I haven't seen it.
Well, this one, no, that's a great point. So this was a Netflix movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I think they released it in the theater for like a month, but it was definitely one of those Netflix productions. And it didn't. I actually don't know what won. I don't think it won, but I think the director won for the Oscar for that. But yeah,
that's it. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place.
Next one. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Oh, good question. What do they need to know about each other is, so I make the joke, though it is still kind of true, that when Devin and I had met, so we've been together now almost 8 years. And we decided to move in together about a year and a half into it. And one of the things I knew, I don't want to throw him under the bus. So he was a little messy as a bachelor, and I'm a little neater about things, but I'm also very lazy about cleaning. So I just think that speaks to knowing you can live together in the same space before you. I think just how you two will meld together as in a living space, because there are a lot of quirks that everybody has that you just need to see if they're going to fit with each other. and what you're willing not to put up with, but what you're willing to live with, I guess. It's a matter of, like most of life, nothing is ever going to be ideal. I mean, I guess sometimes they are, but human beings being who we are, we have lots of little quirks and things that we like, and anytime you get together with somebody else, there's always going to be a trade-off, I guess. And so figuring out if those trade-offs work, and can you live together, I think, is the answer to that question. Don't get married unless you know you can live together.
Absolutely. And also, like, you spend some time living together, it's when you're going to see the little habits that you just see living together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's important to see, like, when you are, like, before you start living together, there's always habits that you need to find out. It comes with day by day living together. Saying that, what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from him so far?
Just seeing what an amazing, open, giving person he is. It's a great characteristic of his, and it makes living with him really quite wonderful.
Beautiful. I can see him smiling, you saying that. I can see him now. He's smiling. 3 questions left for you, Pete. Let's do it.
All right.
But before the next one, as you're saying about music, how much you like singing, how music came into your life?
Oh gosh, great question. I was attracted to it back in elementary school. I think, growing up in the church, there's always singing at church. And I would get involved with like the children's choir and such. We had, music education was part of the elementary school system. So, learning, getting involved with that was, I guess, what I was always drawn to. Singing specifically, but I didn't learn to read music until I started, playing instruments. And I started out with handbells, if you are familiar with those. And it was great because we had the sheet music in front of us, but we would have our 2 to 3 bells, and the bell director would go through the music and circle your notes. So it was kind of a way to visualize where we are and how when to play, but also a way to kind of read that music. And so that then expanded into like a whole bevy of all the like brass family instruments. I played trumpet, trombone, tuba at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, I never learned any of the reed instruments. That always seemed difficult to me. But I really haven't played an instrument in a long time. But yeah, I mean, music's just always been that thing that just I guess comes from the soul, right? And it's just if it's something that is part of you, you'll seek it out.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
Next question is, if someone offered to tell your future, would you accept it or not, and why?
Huh. Now, I watch a lot of science fiction. And I know time travel stuff and knowing the future stuff really messes with people. It's funny. I would probably say yes, just because I'm the kind of person that will read about the results of something if I missed it live and still want to watch it just to see the journey to that ending. So I mean, if I'm following what I actually do in real life, I would say yes. I don't know why I do that though. People hate it. People like Devin, my best friend Ona, they're always yelling at me for like, but you're ruining it. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. Just because I know doesn't mean I don't want to watch it or know. I think the journey is what makes the story so interesting, not the ending. And so knowing the ending, whether I know the ending or not, I think knowing the ending really helps me focus on what parts of that journey affected that. And I think that's, now that I'm thinking about this, see, you're making me think. How dare you? I think knowing the ending helps me focus on the parts of the journey that get to that end result. And maybe even like, learning those lessons and incorporating them in my own life. So subconsciously, I guess I'm probably doing that.
And sometimes as well, listen to those a little bit about our future. Sometimes it's like pushing you to go further. You know what I mean? To believe it. Okay, just do it and just go after it. You can go this way.
Yeah. No. Cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
Peter, 2 questions left. Let's do it. Look at you dancing. Amazing. Next question for you is, tell us about your best vacation and why you consider that.
Best vacation. Wow. It would be between two. So I never really got the chance to take really extravagant vacations until I met Devin. Devin being a flight attendant, we got to use his flight benefits. And so one of the most expensive parts of a vacation is the airfare. And, so we've been able to use his flight benefit to fly to places for free, like Japan and New Zealand and Peru. And these are just places that I never would have been able to explore otherwise, probably, until later in life, as people save money and all that. But just being able to see these other cultures and learn about, their history. And I think, Japan was really fascinating for it being such a different culture. New Zealand was amazing for its natural beauty. And Peru was the most amazing because of how proud the people of Peru are of their history and their Incan heritage. Like just the way they, just so proud of it. We would go into different museums and purposely pay for the guided tour, and pay for these people to tell us about the history. And they very specifically, very often talked about the Incans and how they, lived. And there's this one museum in Lima, which was like their history museum, I guess. And we're going through and they're showing us all the Incan stuff and all the pre-Incan. And then we get to the wing where the Spanish come around and they said, okay, tour's done. And we just kind of explored the rest of it on our own, which I loved because screw the Spanish. I mean, they did what they did. And I love the fact that, they're so proud of their own history that they're still upset about it. And then later on, we learned about how they kind of subverted stuff in the Catholic religion to like meet their needs. And so, for example, images of Mary in Catholic churches were still in the shape of like the earth. Like they had their own gods of like a mountain represented their mother. And so like Mary was always depicted as a kind of a mountain. It was just fantastic. That kind of thing really, I love to learn about that. So those kinds of vacations are my favorite.
And where are you planning to go for your next one now? What's the next stop?
So we are deciding that. We thought we were going to stick to a cycle. We might do a few places in Southeast Asia, like Korea, Vietnam, maybe Thailand, some of those, or we might check out Australia. One thing, we ended up getting stuck in New Zealand as COVID hit. We ended up being, I know it's crazy. We were literally the last flight allowed into New Zealand, and we thought, let's go ahead and see what happens. If we get stuck in New Zealand, there are worse places to be. And so we went. The first week was fine. We were maybe a day or two into the second week when they announced their emergency orders to shelter in place within 48 hours. And so we suddenly had to like scramble and scrap the rest of that week, which was most of the South Island, which we didn't get to do. And we were able to fly back. We found some flights that got us back. So going to Australia would also mean that we'd probably check out some of the stuff we missed in the South Island, New Zealand too. So trying to think about that as we plan these, because I guess Dev's getting enough vacation time starting next year that we can break them up into two smaller trips, which I think we'd like to do. But if we're going to still do one big trip, that would be a lot easier to kind of tag that onto the end of an Australia thing or something. So I think that's what we might be doing, but still up in the air.
Pete, ready for the last one?
Sure.
Last question. Let's do it.
All right.
But before the last question, I would like you to share, through those, you've been performing now, in this group. Can you share like a funny story that happened to you, or something maybe went in a different way that you're not expecting, something that you could share?
Well, a funny story springs to mind very, very quickly. I had the chance to kind of quote unquote star in one of the things we were doing for a holiday show. And after our Friday night performance, I ended up imbibing a little too much and woke up the next day really, really, really dehydrated and hungover. We had a matinee and a nighttime performance. And so I get there, I made it on time. But during the first half of the matinee performance, I start getting really dizzy and lightheaded. And I grabbed the hand of my friend next to me and I said, I'm gonna fall. He's like, just sit down. So instead of falling, I just slowly sat down. So if anybody watching the course just saw my head kind of go down slowly. And my mom and my ex-wife, Veronica, they were all there. So they saw it, and everybody in the course knew what was happening because what I was doing I was in the second half. So during the intermission, people are bringing me Gatorade and everybody's all concerned. I was like, I'm fine. I got it. But that was a funny little moment.
But did you manage to finish the concert? Like to perform?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a pro.
You just had the moment to yourself.
Exactly. I had to take a moment.
Last question for you is, who is a celebrity you admire and why?
A celebrity. I don't know. Gosh, I've never thought of that. Celebrities generally don't impress me. I typically pay a lot of attention. So I like entertainment, but I generally don't pay attention to the entertainers per se or their personal lives. I'm always grateful to those who speak out on social issues and take stands, because that it's a risk to do that. When you're trying to play to a large audience, you really don't want to risk alienating people. But sometimes you really do have to take a stand. So I really appreciate the celebrities that do that. Jennifer Lawrence, for example, springs to mind. I just read an article about her recently, just making a stand about abortion and how things here in the U.S. have really kind of turned around due to Roe v. Wade being overturned. So like those sorts of things, I really admire. I myself, since I've kind of left the church, my religion is now politics, and so I read a lot about that sort of thing and keep up with those sorts of things. So the people I admire the most are those that stand up, for what they believe. I know a lot of people are hit or miss with Nancy Pelosi, for example. I admire her for her standing up for what she believes, but also being incredibly pragmatic and knowing what she can achieve with what she has available to her. So I people watching this will probably laugh at me or mock me or whatever, but I just as somebody popping to mind, somebody like that, people who want to enact change, but are pragmatic enough to know the best way to go about that. I think that's a really inspiring kind of person.
Absolutely. And sometimes, as you said, sometimes they are express themselves, and people that can take that different way. It's a risk for them as well, because you know what I mean, they are speaking out what they think or what they stand for, and sometimes it's a risk because people can understand a different way and can somehow damage, you know what I mean, something about their career or something. There's always it's a brave thing to do, for you to stand up there and talk about things that maybe some people, they're not ready to listen to it or to accept it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And especially in the US, I know it's other places as well, but with things being so fractured, making that kind of a stand publicly is not that people who are, against that idea would probably watch your movies anyway. But, that risk of alienation is terrifying and is really brave of people to stand up. So.
Amazing. Pete, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with life.
Vitality.
One word for family.
Love.
How about sex?
Hot.
Ooh. Money.
Not enough. That's hyphenated, so it's one word.
One word for love.
Devin.
Ooh, sweet. One word for politics.
One word for politics. Religion.
And how about one word for religion?
Silly.
Fear.
Life.
Friendship.
I'm trying to think of the word. Friendship. Love.
Regret.
A lot. Too many. I don't know. That's two words.
Okay.
But also, I mean, I have regrets, but like we said before, it created who we are. So I don't regret it. So it's hard to say one word for that. That's a really mixed bag for me.
Desire.
Sex.
Ooh, hot, as you said before.
Yeah, exactly.
Success.
Friends.
Wish.
Peace.
Happiness.
Joy.
One word for Philly.
Cheesesteak.
One word for Pennsylvania.
Beautiful.
USA. One word.
Unique.
And the last one, now singing. One word.
Joy.
Oh, sweet. Let's pretend now. Next time when I see Devon, next time I'm going to ask him, Devon, tell me what is the most beautiful thing about Pete, and what's something that he still needs to work on? What he would say?
Oh, geez. I think he would say he loves my my spirit and joy of life. But things I need to work on would be the way I get frustrated at so many things.
Do you see some work in progress?
Oh, it's always a work in progress.
Good, very good. Let's play now, Pete, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Pete, you can ask me a question now.
Just one, because I came up with two.
You can ask me two, just because you are.
All right. Tell me something that's true, something you think is true that almost nobody agrees with you on.
My God, I love the question. I love the question. Right, put me in the spot now. I love being the spot. Love being the spot. Something that's, I believe, that's not many people. Right, good question. Actually, my goodness, so many things come to your mind. I'm just picture myself talking to my best friends because talk about things that they don't believe. All right, so the first thing that came to my mind, like straight away. And of course, I could picture myself talking to my best friends when you were camping a few years ago about religion, you know, about God, about things that, you know, and something that I don't know if he changed his point of view, but at the time I remember talking about people when we die. Yeah, when we die, I strongly believe that there is something afterwards. You can talk. You can say life after death. You can say a start of a new thing. It can be anything. But I believe that after we die, there's something because the thing is, if you realize when you meet people, yeah, like people cross our paths for some reason, and you feel so connected with this person for some reason, and you go like, my goodness, I feel like I know you for years, and we feel so connected. And imagine if life is so short, and if you die, what's all this meaning? What of those like emotion that we went through, challenges, love, you know, happiness, everything all together, the connection we have with the people, with the words, with history, like the Queen, like just happened now, all those events in life that we go through, you know, and everything's gonna finish when you die. So what's the meaning of all of that we went through? So I believe that after we die, there's something, you know, there's still a journey to go. I don't know if it's a long journey, if I know it's a short journey. I don't know if it's just a moment that you're gonna have to analyze your life or something, but I strongly believe that there is something afterwards. Could be a moment, could be another life, or could be something, but there is something that you're gonna experience. There's something that you're gonna understand, maybe some question that you didn't understand through your life. So I think there is something, and I remember talking to friends about it. They go like, William, when you die, that's it, it's done. And I go like, no, there is something there.
And we don't know. So, I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's always, you know what I mean? It's always like a question, what's gonna happen? Even though if you don't believe it or if you believe it, but we don't know, you know what I mean? So I remember picture myself like so many talks with close friends. Again, where I told you before that when we are with our close friends, we can be ourselves and talk about anything. So I picture myself so many times, spend so much energy on it, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
discussion religion. It's like politics. You know what I mean? We have our minds done. You know what I'm gonna say? There's always, you already have your way of approaching. But yes, answer to your question, that's something, a topic that I always spend so much energy talking about. Something that I believe it. You
Yeah.
know, and I can't wait. I can't wait when I get to this point after that, and I go like, yes, you see it, we are here again, and I was right. So I can't wait for that moment just to prove
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
just can't wait.
fantastic. And I think
Can't wait.
that's a great way. I mean, since we don't know,
Yeah,
I think it's a great way to envision that. I mean,
and,
so yeah.
and I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, okay, that's fine. But
Yeah.
I feel it. It's a genuine feeling. You know what I mean? It's not something that religion taught me or my parents or my friends. It's just a genuine feeling that I feel it. That's something that's it must have something, because it's not you know what I mean. Life's too short just to end like that. There's something that you still need to go through for some reason.
Yeah. Cool.
Second question.
All right. Well, this one's a little simpler, I think. If you had the opportunity, how would you transform society?
Oh my God, that's a good one. That's a good one. Right. So
Besides sending Liz Truss home.
no, I think that if I could teach something or share something with the voice of society, is I would just tell them, try to open up, this bubble that was created. Yeah, open. It's like, you know what I mean, popping, like explode this bubble there, just to be more approachable about anything. You know what I mean? Be more understanding. I know society voice there is so strong that sometimes make us believe that we are wrong. It doesn't matter which topic. It could be anything, but it's so strong that sometimes you question yourself. My God, am I wrong? You know what I mean? Like believing on that or being this way or any other topics. But if I could just sit down society by my side and go like, you know what, let's figure out this again, let's open up this again, let's put more things there. Don't let this society bubble to be so empty. Let's put more things to be more filled up with colors, to be more approachable. You know what I mean? This bubble is already too empty. Let's fill up with more things. You know what I mean? Let's let this bubble to get more reach. Let this bubble get more understanding. So if I would have the opportunity to sit down with the society by my side, I would go like, you know what? Let's fill up the things with more things, because it's too closed. It's too empty there. Let's open up. Let's make the society to be bigger, because it's so strong. And let's use this strength to support other things that maybe you never supported before, or you were against it for so many years. So that's what I will do.
That's awesome. That's a great way of thinking of it, actually. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
No, I love the question. I love to put me in this spot, because I love being in this spot, Pete. I like when people ask me questions that make me think, and because it fascinates, and I understand. I have a feeling that answer questions like on the spot. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes not very easy, and I love being there.
Awesome.
Pete, did you have a good time? Are you happy that you took the challenge, the journey?
Yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being kind. Thanks so much. When I received a message from Devon saying that she wanted to be part, I said, yes, now I finally got it. I knew one point would come. If he wouldn't mention anything, I would invite you anyway. So I was just waiting for the right moment. Pete, before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
Yeah, so a quote that's always stuck with me is one from the poet Sylvia Plath, who this quote becomes so much more poignant to me knowing that she lived with depression throughout her very short life and actually committed suicide at the age of 30.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was from her. She said, "Let me live, love, and say it well in good sentences." And so as a poet suffering from depression, that just really struck home, especially just applying that to any of our self-expression. So whether you write poetry or whatever you do in life, just love, live, and do it as well as you can in whatever manner you have. So
Absolutely. I think you need to live the true yourself, and you know what I mean, live life, be happy. I know it's sometimes not easy, but you know what I mean, love what you do, love what you feel, express yourself, you know what I mean, spread this
Yeah.
love that's just
Love is so much more than that romantic relationship. Love really is every
absolutely.
part. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think love it can go in different direction. It can reach different people in a different way, in a different love. That's I believe.
Absolutely. Yep.
My God, I can't wait to meet you in London sometimes. My goodness,
That'd be great.
You should come once.
Well, you know, since y'all are hosting Eurovision next year, no, it's going to be up in Glasgow, right, or something like that. I forget what they picked.
I'll tell you something. You know what? I was thinking the other day. My goodness, imagine one day being like a part of the Eurovision. Wow, never know.
Right, so the best friend I was talking about, he's from Turkey and grew up loving Eurovision. So he kind of introduced it to us, and we've just been crazy for it ever since. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how nowadays, like everywhere in the world, like everyone watches Eurovision. I remember the very first time when I watched Eurovision was in Portugal, and I remember for some reason I put a TV on, and I never heard before about Eurovision. Suddenly, because I love like seeing like those, you know what I mean, events where it connects the world. I love. And sometimes I realize when I was watching, I realized it was country singing, like competitions. Like, my God, what's happening here? And since then, it became like something that we cannot miss it, and it's so interesting because when I'm here with friends, we do like a game. So everyone who comes to the event, like a house party, we make like A4 sheet. We put like you need to vote like best
very cool.
best costume, best music, best overall. Anyway, so we need to score 0 to 10. Yeah. In the end, who gets closer to the winner gets the prize. In the end, it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Pete, thanks so much for the interview. It was a pleasure, and I see you one day in Philadelphia or in London. Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks. I look forward to meeting you.
Enjoy your day. Okay. Thank you very much. Say hello to Devon. Okay.
Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.